Hello and welcome back. And welcome to this session we have with Rahul Patel, who's SVP and GM at Qualcomm, who's going to be talking about advances in wireless networking technologies from Qualcomm's perspective. After the presentation, in lieu of a Q&A session, there'll be a second recording, which is a fireside chat between Rahul and Atul from Cambium. And so if you stay on that, I'll come back to you after both videos. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rahul Patel. I'm Senior Vice President and General Manager, Connectivity and Networking at Qualcomm. Thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to share with you today. I'm going to focus on advances in wireless networking technologies in my presentation, something that is going to be core to Cambium Networks and their product line today and going forward basis. There is a massive shift in data usage, largely because of the cloud dynamics. Cloud services, access to the cloud is the new big thing that is helping productivity and changing people's experiencing around services. It is the new normal, and it is going to stay with us as we transition past this new normal phase that we are in right now. What does it mean? Consumers of the cloud, be it the average consumers, be it the industrial applications, be it other private network applications, they are expecting access to the cloud wirelessly, be it in the broadband networks using millimeter wave technologies, 5G or 60 gigahertz through fixed wireless access, be it in your local area networks using Wi-Fi technologies, the latest and greatest, with multi-directional, multi-user capabilities using Wi-Fi 6, be it your personal area networks using Bluetooth audio, going into your ears, talking to your wristbands or watches, many other things that are coming to play in our personal lives, all wirelessly. In all of this, there is not enough spectrum today, especially in Wi-Fi. With Wi-Fi 6, we are seeing tremendous growth in Wi-Fi traffic, and the medium is inadequate to support the various experiences that consumers have come to expect, especially with video traffic. Having said that, the world of Wi-Fi has evolved to a newer spectrum as well, which is the 6 gigahertz spectrum, the one that is going to bring 1.2 gigahertz of spectrum benefits, largely pristine in nature and unused, untapped to the Wi-Fi world. So on a going forward basis, we'll see 3 bands in Wi-Fi, along with 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz that we have been using all along. We are going to see the usage of 6 gigahertz take shape in a big way in the coming years. This is through Wi-Fi 6E. And so today I will touch on all of these topics along with the major trends in the marketplace. At Qualcomm, we are the innovators of wireless modem technologies. We have been in this place for quite some time. We pride on being leaders in wireless communications, core technologies, especially modem technologies, be it cellular, be it local area network technologies like Wi-Fi, or be it personal area network technologies like Bluetooth. There are many innovative trends underway. The 4 that are prominent in the marketplace, and many of you must be experiencing in one other way, are the 4G transition to 5G, the fixed broadband, which is largely fiber, copper through DSL or cable, transitioning to fixed wireless access through millimeter wave technologies like 5G or 60 gigahertz. The third big transition, if you have not already experienced, it is the Wi-Fi 6 transition evolving from Wi-Fi 5. And the fourth transition is wirelessly sourcing multimedia in your personal devices. And so Bluetooth audio, streaming multimedia traffic straight into your ears or your watches or your display devices using stereo CD class audio over Bluetooth. These are the 4 big trends that are taking shape right now in the world. I don't have time to talk about all four, but I will focus on the top two that are relevant to Cambium Networks and its customer base. Fixed broadband to fixed wireless access and Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6. Fixed wireless access is shaping up largely on the backs of 5G. The millimeter wave bands as well as sub-6 bands are being utilized to bring fixed wireless access to broadband technologies as an option to what we have experienced as fixed wireless access. Now, with 5G, the big thing that we experience is mobility with our broadband. Wireless operators are going to experience the ability to bring wireless services, wireless broadband services to places where they would not have otherwise been able to because they don't have access to fixed wireless, broadband pipes like some other operators may have. 60 gigahertz is an alternative to 5G in the unlicensed spectrum. With 60 gigahertz, we anticipate a huge uptick in emerging parts of the world, developing parts of the world, where spectrum and the expenses associated with licensed spectrums comes to make the rollout of fixed wireless access slow, or it's not conducive to the capital expenditure that it bears. So with 60 gigahertz, there is going to be a lot more activity for fixed wireless access in regions that are emerging as well as have lower threshold for capital expenses and subscriber expenses. We anticipate a lot more 60 gigahertz being also used for backhauling technologies. I'm very proud to share with you that something Qualcomm and Facebook initiated 3 or 4 years back as a research project working with Facebook, bringing Qualcomm's 802.11ay 60 gigahertz technologies into the marketplace through the R&D efforts of both the engineering organizations at Facebook as well as Qualcomm. Cambium Networks was one of the first to deliver breakthrough 60 gigahertz fixed wireless and deploy in the marketplace as an alternative Wi-Fi that delivers reliable fiber internet speeds. So congratulations to the entire Cambium organization, and I'm hoping your customer base as well as the customers who may be listening to this are taking notice of this excellent product that the Cambium team has developed. Here's a short video of what fixed wireless access can do to broadband as well as connectivity in your homes.
Qualcomm Technologies is helping to bring fast, reliable, and secure connectivity into the home with 5G fixed wireless access and Wi-Fi 6. Let's take a look at how this will work. It begins with a fixed wireless access device powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon X55 5G modem RF system that uses 5G millimeter wave and sub-6 GHz 5G to enable unprecedented capacity and coverage. This device is connected to a Wi-Fi mesh system built on one of Qualcomm Technologies' Wi-Fi 6 platforms. Our Wi-Fi 6 networking platforms are built for multi-user environments, making them ideal for those who are working from home, with speeds up to 10 gigabits per second and multiple streams of Wi-Fi 6 connectivity to support the many devices in the modern connected home, small business, or enterprise. This combination of 5G and Wi-Fi 6 is a powerful solution for the future of home networking, with seamless support for gaming, productivity, and entertainment.
Yes, I think this is something that we had envisioned happening when we were developing 5G and Wi-Fi 6, and similar is the extension to 60 gigahertz. We today see operators in North America, other parts of the world embracing fixed wireless access and deploying systems, broadband systems, CP, consumer premises, equipment, gateways, using wireless access for broadband. Long story short, we also see a lot of 60 gigahertz being deployed for backhauling as well as bringing fixed wireless access into the homes or into industrial applications for warehousing, for medical usages within the hospitals, deploying networks wirelessly within venues like malls, within stadiums for access of uploading technologies to the cloud, like pictures, video traffic, many other applications coming to play wirelessly through broadband access that fixed wireless brings. Some of the big things that you would see in a 5G integrated gateway are no different than what you would find in a wired gateway. It's a high-performance firewall router gateway. It's got the best-in-class security. It's also got the 3GPP cellular security capabilities that are available, which are very robust as well, along with the VPN capabilities that you would find in many other gateways. High density silicon architecture that brings you the best-in-class scalability on performance as well as multiple user supports, integrated voice calling capabilities, Wi-Fi Alliance certified Wi-Fi 6 connectivity, and also obviously the cellular connectivity using 5G. So all in all, very nicely integrated gateway today is available, meeting the requirements of the consumer. Let me spend a minute or two on Wi-Fi 6 features and priorities. Today, if you look at our homes, we are working from home, we are schooling from home, and we are entertaining from home, and also playing from home. We are gaming from home, right? The world is not too far in the future where we would be court-siding, watching basketball games from the couch of our homes, basically, right? And so this is where we are going. Imagine the amount of video traffic that is going to transact in our homes. Imagine the amount of transaction that's going to take on the broadband networks. Imagine the amount of traffic that's going to be backhauled as neighborhoods operate together in this capacity, and the backhaul that's going to get utilized as a result. All of this is going to happen wirelessly. To support these bandwidth intensive use cases and bidirectional data going up and down, remember, not long back we were only talking about downlink capabilities. Now the uplink is as important, if not more, as downlink, as we try to upload and we try to communicate through video with our loved ones around the world. So, or even in our work settings. So bidirectional data is going to be extremely valuable. I talked about applications like playing from home. I talked about applications of being courtside from home. I talked about gaming from home. And so you think about these applications, latency is a huge factor. Something I also find that Cambium network products basically focus on. And this is a key element of differentiation for all products that you would want to source. If you want to have your network to be future-proof, do not ignore latency benefits. And so this is what Wi-Fi 6 brings to the forefront. I alluded earlier to the tri-band capabilities of Wi-Fi 6. As Wi-Fi 6 extends to 6 gigahertz spectrum, it is extremely valuable to have a clean spectrum to backhaul, right? Where you have 1.2 gigahertz of spectrum and the option of operating in 160 megahertz channels, and sometimes even channel bonding and extending to larger channel widths. Get up to 10 gigabits per second of backhauling capability as a result of having a pristine, untapped 6 gigahertz spectrum, which is 1.2 gigahertz in total capacity that's available. And so that is a huge benefit that we see coming to play. How do we bring all these things together? We introduced Wi-Fi 6 through our Networking Pro series. Cambium products utilize Qualcomm's Networking Pro series. We went from 4 streams up to 16 streams and everything in between with Networking Pro series. We have now embarked on focusing on power as well as form factors. And we introduced immersive home platforms as well. And you can see it drawn to the scale on the slide, how different and how compact is the immersive home. You get very similar feature set as you would get in Networking Pro series, but the form factor has gone to a newer, size, and which is a paradigm shift. Now you can deploy some of these repeater nodes around the venue and it would blend with the furniture. You would not realize that there is a Wi-Fi node or an access node that is around you basically. The size that we have marveled in our engineering implementation rivals half the size of your smartphone, as you can see in the picture basically. Long story short, this is where the technology advances now to support Wi-Fi 6 proliferation across, venues. So Wi-Fi 6 features, they make sense in the access equipment only if they are available in the devices, in the mobile devices, in the computing devices. And so as Qualcomm, we pride ourselves in being end-to-end. We are not just the access point or infrastructure technology provider. We bring the same capabilities at the other endpoint where you access some of these capabilities from the infrastructure, in your handsets, in your mobile computing devices, PCs, in your television screens. These are the places where we are also introducing Wi-Fi 6E feature, where multi-user traffic management capabilities, performance, multi-gigabit per second performance, universal uplink capabilities, and a special modulation which is of higher order than what the industry spec supports. It's 4K QAM, so you get another 20 to 25% boost in link budget and performance. And on top of that, we deploy best-in-class security for end-to-end deployment. On the Wi-Fi 6 client ecosystem development, I would touch on it. A couple of years back, we started introducing, ahead of the industry, Wi-Fi 6 features with our Wi-Fi 5 products. This to future-proof the older devices that were sourced or bought by consumers 2 years back. This was through our Fast Connect 6700 series products. We evolved last year to support over 100 designs that were using Snapdragon mobile platform from Qualcomm with Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. So you have over 200 million products out there that already use Qualcomm Wi-Fi 6. This year, early in the year, but we have already begun launching the 6 gigahertz in the phone. So now phones are going to ship with 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz. We are going to extend this capability into PCs and other mobile devices as we progress throughout this year. 6 gigahertz gives you that added capability to source that 1.2 gigahertz of spectrum that's available, and it's pristine, like I indicated earlier. Multi-user architecture, high speed, 3.6 gigabits per second is the performance that you can expect at peak throughputs in the mobile devices or your PCs or your television screen. And most importantly, all of this is valuable because of low latency capabilities you can expect from Qualcomm devices that you would be connecting with your infrastructure. We have few examples of Fast Connect 6900, which is the 2.45, 6 gigahertz implementation in the handset devices. Samsung's Galaxy Fold 2 uses that device. It may not have turned on 6 gigahertz, but it uses that device. Xiaomi's Mi 11, which was recently announced and is going to start shipping this quarter, also uses Wi-Fi 6E capabilities using Fast Connect 6900. Vivo's flagship device that is also going to launch this quarter is going to deploy Fast Connect 6900 capabilities in it. There are many other products that are in the making or in flight, basically in their launch stages, basically in the channels that use Fast Connect 6900. Very quickly, you will see a lot of these phones and PCs using 6 gigahertz capability as well with Wi-Fi 6E. Having said that, I want to emphasize, cloud is here to stay. The benefits of cloud, the productivity that cloud brings to our lives are unmatched. We have just experienced the tip of the iceberg. The benefits are going to be tremendous on a going forward basis. And to realize that benefits, you have to operate or develop the wireless world to the next level. Broadband connectivity, leadership using wireless technologies is going to be the essence of success for any company on a going forward basis. At Qualcomm, we pride in bringing these technologies to customers, especially leading customers like Cambium, and I'm hoping, with your help, the customer base, the audience that's, receiving this presentation, you would continue to propel the need for wireless connectivity in your product line and embrace in your deployments. Thank you very much.
Hey, good morning, Rahul. How are you?
I'm doing well, Atul. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
From the customer point of view, what we see is customers are saying that at this point, I need to double the throughput to my end customer. Or service providers are saying, we need to double the throughput to my end customer. And we need to scale the number of connections. So we have seen in a lot of networks we serve through our partners, through our customers, almost double the number of subscribers, throughput going into, again, new packages. What that means is that the advent of millimeter wave, advent of Wi-Fi 6, there is a very much ready market to consume that. And that bodes well as, for, of course, companies like Qualcomm, companies like Cambium who are serving that, because the time is ripe for that technological transition. So one of the questions, Rahul, I have for you is, as you think of Wi-Fi and 5G, how do you see their usage in your customer base?
Well, I think that's a very good question. I think there's obviously a lot of confusion in the larger community, because they talk about Wi-Fi 5G and they also talk about Wi-Fi 6. People get confused as to what is that they should be looking for. I think the simple answer is both. One is there to create access to your cloud through fixed wireless access. The second is to help your devices. Wi-Fi is to help your devices get that performance that your 5G capability is going to bring you through broadband. I'll give you a simple example. Recently, I was talking to my mom. She's in her mid-80s, and one thing led to another, and I asked her, how's the Wi-Fi performance at home? And she is in India, and her response was, I'm very happy because I have 1 gigabit Wi-Fi. I fell off my chair because I could not believe my mom was going to say 1 gigabit.
She's Rahul's mom.
I didn't know. By the way, just on a separate note, when I said I was working on AC, right? Because not long back, 3 years back, she asked me, what are you working on? And I said, AC, right? Just 802.11 AC. She said, why are you working on air conditioners? So long story short, this is the level of awareness that has evolved from somebody who thought 11 AC was air conditioning to now talking effectively about Wi-Fi performance needing to be 1 gigabit per second in the home, in her phone, right? And so if she is in a multi-dwelling and every person in the multi-dwelling, like an apartment complex, is getting 1 gigabit per second, just imagine the backhaul traffic.
Absolutely.
And the importance of cloud access, having the infrastructure, the backhaul capabilities with 5G or 60 gigahertz, as Cambium has now pioneered in the marketplace. These are very important phenomena. People are not going to compromise. And as a result, at the community level, at the local area network level, the amount of backhauling that's going to be needed is going to be like never before. The robustness has to rival the fixed broadband capabilities. 5G brings that to the forefront. 60 gigahertz brings that to the forefront. And the Wi-Fi 6 capabilities brings exactly what my mom needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the way to think about this is no two networks are created the same way. Networks are very idiosyncratic. They're very much matched to the application. So if you have a video surveillance network, you need a lot more ability to upload HD traffic. If you have an industrial network, you need very low latency, maybe small packet sizes. Whereas if you're putting a broadband network for access, you need lots of ability to download, low latency and lots of throughput, downloading throughputs. So each network is different. And as you think it that way, networks will have multiple technologies, like you have different tools in your toolkit. And then as you design for your applications, you decide what exactly, which tool to use. So we believe the same thing, Rahul, that Wi-Fi 6, it'll be absolutely mainstream, in the last 300-400 meters. It provides you a phenomenal access technology, very cost effective, by the way. Then as you go into mobility arena, moving 80 miles an hour, and you need gigabits of speeds or hundreds of megabits of speeds, you'll need 5G. And similarly, 5G is also bringing other real-time standards which will usher more proliferation of IIoT networks. So I think this is why Cambium calls it wireless fabric. Fabric has different strands. You weave in different technologies. You generate a fabric, and then you manage that fabric from a single pane of glass called CN Maestro in our case. So what we believe in is that let the customer focus on applications and tasks and not the tools and complexity of technologies. So whether it's 5G, fixed wireless broadband, Wi-Fi, industrial real-time standards, let's weave that in and demystify the network. And one of the things I'm very proud of our teams working together is 60 gigahertz solution, Wi-Fi 6 solution, indoor-outdoor. So one of the things, Rahul, I would ask you is, as you saw Cambium and Qualcomm working, and your company has worked with lots of different companies. What did you see very special in the 60 gigahertz program as multiple companies work together to pull a solution together?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. There are, Qualcomm puts out reference designs. So somebody can take a design that Qualcomm's built and, put a platform together by simply putting a wrapper around the Qualcomm design that Qualcomm has as a referenceware. In Cambium's case, there has been tremendous amount of collaboration between Qualcomm R&D and Cambium R&D. And so there is a next level of engagement and engineering know-how that has gone into building the final product, which I believe is the reason why Tolly Group puts Cambium products on a certain pedestal compared to its competitive landscape. And I'm really proud of the end products that the two engineering teams, organizations have come together and built and put out in the marketplace. And it speaks volume of the success of the product line and the success of Cambium as a result. And congratulations for all the great products that you guys have developed.
I would also actually congratulate Qualcomm team, because what I noticed from our side is that when you're designing an RF system, and those who are in wireless, they know RF system needs fine tuning, not only just at the design stage, but even in the production stage. You're constantly fine tuning so many variables. What I noticed, both the teams work very closely together, many weekends, to, especially last 3-4 months, to fine tune a production quality system. And very much please extend our gratitude to your team on that.
Thank you.
One of the questions, Rahul, I would ask is, a lot of people think that 5G might make Wi-Fi obsolete. And that's a question a lot of times comes, and you guys do both. So as you look at your customers and the segments, what is your opinion? How would the two kind of coexist? What kind of applications will one drive, and where, for example, 5G will focus on in applications?
First and foremost, I think it's a great question. It's come up multiple times, so I'm not surprised you raised this question. I'm hoping, folks who are going to view this program probably get a good response as a result. In my opinion, succinctly put, 5G and Wi-Fi 6 are very complementary. One cannot exist without the other. At Qualcomm, we pride in being leaders in both. We are known as the engine for wireless modem development, innovative company that has always led, and it has translated into our success both in cellular as well as Wi-Fi. And I would broaden it up and saying both in licensed as well as unlicensed spectrum modem capabilities. So 5G being in the licensed spectrum, Wi-Fi being in the unlicensed spectrum. There are many other things that we do in the unlicensed spectrum. 60 gigahertz is one other thing. If we had fully developed only licensed spectrum, we would have done injustice rather, to rest of the world where licensed spectrum is not easily available. And so 60 gigahertz with our 802.11ay capabilities that is there in your Telegraph product that you have developed, Cambium has developed in collaboration with Facebook, is there to kind of source as well. So there is place for both licensed and unlicensed spectrum, and 5G and Wi-Fi 6 are extremely complementary to each other, and they would feed on each other's success on a going forward basis.
Excellent. Well, my last question, as we go into, say, 2021 and 2022, what is one most exciting technology you visualize or you see coming from Qualcomm side, which you like to share with some of our partners and customers?
Yeah, I think without spilling the beans too much, something that we've talked about in sourcing the larger customer base, we see Wi-Fi 6 evolving to 6 gigahertz band very fast, faster than what we had anticipated. Having said that, we are very well prepared. We have chipset solutions ready to go in the marketplace, and I'm very happy to say we are working very closely with Cambium team to bring that 6 gigahertz capability into the final products. And I would not be surprised as we progress towards the second half of the year, these products will launch. And so that is one big thing. And I'm seeing a broad acceptance of 6 gigahertz in the marketplace. And various regulatory bodies around the world have also embracing 6 gigahertz as another band for Wi-Fi, which would provide a lot more access. I have one question for you.
Sure.
Last, but very important question. I want you to spill some beans.
Sure.
And I think
sure.
The big thing that I believe is happening with Cambium products is that your products are outstanding. Engineering marvel. What is so different that you do with Qualcomm's Wi-Fi 6 chipsets that makes your products stand out in the marketplace?
So first of all, I think I have to give a lot of credit to our engineers, our product management, which conceived the products, marketing, which takes the products out, sales, which talks to the customers and explain the value proposition, manufacturing, which generates the quality. I think our secret sauce is use the Qualcomm chips, then design our own MAC layer. And this is how we take your Wi-Fi chips, and then we design point-to-multipoint in the ePMP platform, for example, where we can serve 10, 15 kilometer radius and serve thousands of customers, keep the affordability, because Wi-Fi chips, they do give us affordability. But the resiliency part, the deterministic part, comes from our software design, software-defined radio architecture, our entire management from the cloud. All those things coming together, they give you affordability, yet mission-critical connectivity. And our entire lineup of products, from point-to-multipoint to Wi-Fi 6 platforms, they're all Qualcomm-based chips. And we are very proud of this partnership. And thank you for coming to Cambium Connections. And we have a lot of gratitude to you and your team as you work with us.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that session with Rahul Patel from Qualcomm. We're also going to submit the questions that people have added into the chat box on the website to see if we can get responses after this event. What we'd like to do now is to move on, and the next session is at hour. And there's going to be a presentation from Sakid Ahmed on quality of experience in wireless networks. So the link to join that session is below this presentation on the website, and I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Thank you.